Hello everyone, how's it going there? Now here and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. It is start of July, it's sunny out, the weather's gorgeous, and I was sat here thinking, reflecting. I thought, why not make a video reflecting on our time last season, on a season which brought a new beginning, a fresh start for the Rams. So here we are. We will be reflecting on last season, where it went wrong, the upcoming season, and the transfers that Derby have made and will make, and some transfer rumours too. So sit back, grab a beer or a Coke or water or whatever drink you want, and let's dive into it. So we'll start from the final home game of last season against Plymouth, which is where I left you off last time. That game, we probably didn't play our best. Did we play bad? I don't think we played a bad game. They got a goal against the run of play, definitely, just out of nowhere, and then they were kind of in the ascendancy and just sort of really sat back, defended, and you know, it almost paid off if it weren't for that equaliser. And yeah, it was. We did have it all to do as soon as we went behind in that game. And then coming into Sheffield Wednesday away, it was always going to be a big ask. You know, they were third in the league. They were starting to pick up form again. And, you know, they were favourites for the playoffs too. Sheffield Wednesday did a number on us. They beat us 1-0. Curtis Davis got sent off in that game. They won through a penalty. And Derby had at least 2 shots cleared off the line in that away game. It was a frustrating game, but it was a game where Derby played well, played with our heart in our sleeves, and narrowly missed out on the final day of the season. And looking back on the season as a whole, I think our inconsistency cost us. The fact that there were games where, you know, we were proper giving it to teams where we were running right round them. Then we'd be playing games away against your Lincolns, against your Wickhams, against Barnsley, where we really weren't at the races, where we were lacklustre. We lost the desire, the fight, and it ultimately cost us. Us not picking up points as well from games where we had leads, like against Shrewsbury at home, Bristol Rovers away. You know, these are games we should be winning. Plymouth at home as well. I mean, okay, you got to consider that they were a good team last season and they probably deserved the win in the end, but we shouldn't be throwing away 2-goal leads to either draw or lose games. And we did that against Plymouth. We did that against Shrewsbury. And it's just disappointing when you're in the ascendancy and just throw it away through from lack of composure. But yeah, that's where we went wrong, I think. I also don't think the players gambled enough. Sometimes balls were too simple, sometimes too predictable, sometimes it just wasn't good enough play. And the service to the strikers sometimes weren't the best. If you can't provide your main goal scorer with the ball, you're not going to score goals. If you're incomplacent with your passes, you're going to get cut apart on the counter-attack. And that happened plenty of times last season. It may have not resulted in goals all the time, but there were certainly times where, you know, we got lucky in terms of recovery, in terms of the goalkeeping, in terms of the incomplacency of the other team. So I just think that we need more composure. We just need to be more brave, I think, when we're playing football. And I think with Paul Warren's style of play, I think that he's going to definitely boost players' confidence. He's definitely going to have a better effect on the players that he's going to bring in on his style of play. And yeah, I think a more physical, a more defensive-minded play with the counter-attacking football could be the way forward, like he did at Rotherham. that's where I think we went wrong last season. And yeah, going into transition to this new season, we have lost a few players, a couple players that could have been crucial going into the new season. So we'll start off with the first players to be released, which were Richard Stearman, James Chester, and Curtis Davis. Curtis Davis, obviously, Derby through and through. Been with us for 6 years. He's just been an outstanding football player for us. His leadership on the pitch, off the pitch as well, has been second to none. He stuck by us during the torrid time, through administration, through different managers, through relegation survival, and through relegation itself. And he's definitely been a good stalwart for the club, a great servant, and he's definitely going to be missed. It is a shame that he got sent off on that final game of the season, and that was his final action for the club. But I don't think that tars him as a player, and I think a lot of fans are grateful for what he has done for the club, rather than for the one mistake that he made, which cost us that playoff spot, which, let's be honest, we probably would have even won anyway. So Curtis Davis leaves with, I think, the best regards from the club and our fans too. And he's joined Cheltenham Town, so we will be seeing him next season, though not in a Derby shirt. Christian Bielik was also a player that left last week for Birmingham City for a fee believed to be £1 million after a successful loan spell with the Blues. Obviously, he first left so he could play international football with Poland, and I can understand that. You know, he wanted the opportunity to play at the World Cup, and he weren't going to get that if he was staying at Derby, so we let him go out on loan. I think his attitude while he was at Birmingham, though, his attitude towards the club, it was quite arrogant, it was quite disrespectful, it sort of leaves a nasty taste in your mouth, considering the fact that the club, the fans, everyone associated with the club were pretty much with him during his 2 ACL injuries, and he sort of repays us by wanting to leave to play for a club that wanted our club to no longer exist. That just really doesn't sit right with us. But you've kind of got to understand that, you know, he is a top player. He's not going to be wanting to play in League One, although, you know, when you're signed to a club, see out your contract, play for the club, play with the ram on your chest. He didn't do that. He didn't want to do that. So I'm not too angry the fact that we got a fee for him, but it's one, the amount that we got for him, which is a tenth of how much we paid for him, and two, just his attitude on the whole situation. But I don't want to go too much about Bielik because I want to keep this video as short as possible. David McGoldrick is also a player that has left for Derby on a free transfer. He's left to join his boyhood club of Notts County on a free transfer, and I don't think any Derby fan can blame him to want to play for his boyhood club before he retires, and considering that Derby and Notts County both have a good mutual respect for each other, you can't really knock him. You can't, and I think every Derby fan wishes him all the best for next season as well. Though from Notts County's point of view, they've got a brilliant striker there, and hopefully, you know, Notts County will be back in League One next season, and, you know, establishing themselves once more as a strong club. So that's the players to leave the Rams, and players bought in. We've bought in Joe Ward, a right-sided right wing back on a free transfer from Peterborough United. I think he can offer us a lot of flexibility going up that right-hand side, dropping back when needing to defend. I think he's going to fit that 3-5-2 formation that Paul Warne was playing at Rotherham. You know, being flexible, boxed, kind of like a box-to-box, but on the right-hand side player. And I think we need a player that's got good recovery, who's got you know, a willingness to want to attack, but a ability to get back. And I think that he can offer us a lot next season. I'm pretty sure that a lot of Peterborough fans rated him highly too. So we'll see what we can expect from him. But I'm looking forward to watching him in action. The second player that Derby bought in, Callum Elder from Hull City, on a free transfer as well, on a 3-year deal. He is an Australian international. He's, you know, he's actually rated highly at Hull. Well, should I say he was rated highly at Hull before he left. And he has some leadership qualities about him too. And I suppose with Curtis Davies leaving, we need that leadership on the pitch as well. We need tenacity, I think. We need someone who's hungry, especially in that left-back position, like Hayden Roberts was. And we was trying to sign Roberts, but he has gone to Bristol City instead of us, which is a shame because I did rate him highly last season. But he's chosen, you know, he's chosen what's best for his career, and that's completely down to Hayden Roberts. And you know, I wish him all the best for his future because he's a brilliant player. But Callum Elder, I think he can do a good job for us, considering how much praise Hull City gave him. I'm excited to see what he's like as a player. Curtis Nelson, the third player that Derby signed. Actually, he's the fourth player that we signed, but anyway, he's signed on a 3-year deal after leaving Cardiff City. He is a player that I don't really know too much about, in all honesty, but from what I've heard, he is a solid centre-back. He knows how to position himself well. He knows all the tricks of the trade in that back line. So I'm hoping that he's gonna bolster that back line, and I'm hoping that he can he can keep some balls out of our box too. But yeah, someone who's got a bit of a lot of experience, should I say. He is 30 years old. He's got a lot of experience in that position, but he's slightly younger than what Curtis Davies was, and Stearman and James Chester. So maybe he'll have a little bit more pace about him. I don't know, but we'll see what's to come from him too. The final player that we signed was Josh Vickers, goalkeeper from Rotherham United. Obviously a player that Paul Ward knows after bringing him in a few years ago. He is highly rated by Rotherham, and they say that he's way too good to be a second choice goalkeeper. So hopefully that will push Wildsmith to be a better goalkeeper, or if not, we'll have him in that goalkeeping role at that number 1 spot. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's like as a goalkeeper, and hoping that he provides crucial between the sticks, because there's been plenty of times where Wildsmith has been an outstanding goalkeeper. You know, he did have a very good run of form when we were like 16 games unbeaten, but then there's times where he's getting beaten at his near post too many times. His positioning's not been great. So we'll see. We'll see what the goalkeeping situation is like, but it provides Joe Wildsmith with some stiff competition, definitely. So that's the players that Derby have bought in. That's the players that have gone out. We'll talk transfer rumours now. Jason Knight is the hot topic at the Rams at the minute. Paul Warne doesn't expect him to be in the squad next season. I believe there has been talks with multiple clubs who are interested for him, and we'll see if we can try and get some sort of fee for him too. Obviously, he's come through the ranks, he's come through the academy, so we're not losing out on any money. I think if we can try and get as much as possible, 2 to 3 million, I think will be a brilliant price for him, and it gives us some bulk of, you know, what we can use to buy players now that our embargo has been lifted, and it might help us strengthen that front line, which we're really lacking at the minute. So Jason Knight is the hot topic of the player that's going out. There have been a few rumours as well of Aaron Cashin possibly moving on to Norwich City have been the team that shown the most interest in him, but nothing has been final. Nothing's been put in. No bids have been put in, as I know so far. But I can't blame him for wanting to move on, because Cashin is just he's immense in this league. Cashin is solid, young, hungry, takes risks. That's the type of player that you want in a top championship club. And if he moves on to a club that's challenging for promotion in the championship, I honestly couldn't blame him for moving on. But if we can keep him, then that'd be absolutely brilliant. But he did pledge his future to Derby last season, signing a new contract. So who knows? Maybe he'll want to stay with us, and hopefully we can keep hold of him, because he was absolutely brilliant last season. Another player that's been... Actually, there's no one else that's been linked away from Derby. So we'll talk about transfer rumours coming into Derby. Conor Washington is the biggest topic of a transfer into the Rams at the moment. The striker is a Northern Ireland international. He's been scouted by Paul Warne, who obviously brought him in at Rotherham. Though I don't really rate him, to be honest. Though we said that about McGoldrick, and look what happened. We said that about Cameron Jerome, look what happened. David Nugent, same again. So it's about bringing players in who can prove us wrong. And to be quite honest, if we can get someone like Washington in and him prove us wrong, then hey, I'll be eating my words. So he is the current player who has been linked with Derby. The other players to be linked with the Rams: Sonny Bradley from Luton Town, who's a centre-back who has a lot of leadership skills, captained the side to their promotion from League One all them years ago. Again, another leadership player on the pitch, and we do need a new captain too, having lost Curtis Davis. As much as Max Bird, made a good vice captain, we need someone with more experience, with more knowledge, who can read the game to lead the side. I think Bird is just a bit too young, a bit too inexperienced for that captaincy role yet. So we do need someone who's going to lead the squad on the pitch, and be Paul Warne's right-hand man when it comes to leadership. So he is another player who's been linked with us, who I believe is currently in talks with us too. So we'll see what comes of that. Freddie Ladapo is also the most recent name to come out as a Derby County transfer target. He was at Rotherham a couple of seasons ago, and he knows Paul Warne all too well. I think that's why he's being scouted by Paul Warne, and why Derby want to sign him. But I think that he's still under contract at Ipswich, so if we were to sign him, then I think we'd probably have to offer him a transfer fee. Jonson Clarke-Harris, I think, is the same as well. He's been put on transfer market by Peterborough United. So I think, again, if we can get money in, try and sign him, because he was a top scorer last season, and I'm surprised they put him up for transfer, in all honesty. But if we can get someone like him in to replace Goldrick, plus Ladapo, then who knows, we might be banging them in next season. But like I said, these are just a few transfer rumours. I can go on all evening with the rumours, but we'd be here all day, so I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet. So that's pretty much it for the rumours. That's pretty much it for the football too. I think pretty much the last thing I need to mention is the kit for next season. So here it is. My initial reaction was, I think, the same as a lot of Derby fans. Ew, it's got red on it. I think was the first reaction to it. Though, I've got to say, it's actually growing on me. I do like the red accents on the sleeves, on the collar as well. I think it complements the black and white. It gives off that 1980s vibe too, of your Marco Gabbiadinis and your Paul Simpsons and what have you. So yeah, I think I think it's a pretty decent kit. Just a shame the red's on there. But anyway, without being too biased, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I want to hear what you guys have got to say as well. Where do you think Derby will finish next season? What do you think of the new signings? Who do you think Derby will bring in? And what do you think of the new kit as well? Let me know down below. Keep them comments coming in. I want to know what you guys think. But thank you all for watching. And I'll see you guys for the first video of the new season. We will be starting the new season at Chesterfield. The Rams will be taking on the Spireites in a pre-season friendly next week, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been Niall, you guys have been brilliant. Thank you all for watching. This is Niall, signing out. Peace.